Another thing you should know before we get started is that I am in no way an expert on Whole30. I am just someone who is taking my personal experience and advice I received from people who are much more knowledgeable than I am, and also the good old internet, to hopefully share some of the things would be helpful to you if you're just starting your Whole30 experience, or if you've already done it and you're just looking for other people's journeys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and without further ado, let's get started. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, I am Melinda. I recently posted a video on Whole30 where I was at in my journey with Whole30, and I promised a video of my results when I was finished. And I also thought I'd throw in a couple of tips and tricks that I personally found really helpful through my diet. Anyways, let's get started and let's go ahead and dive right in. So if you are not familiar with Whole30, which you probably know a little bit about Whole30. So yeah, Whole30 is just a clean eating diet that consists of 30 days of cutting out all foods that could potentially be inflaming the body. So dairy, beans, grains, processed food, sugar, alcohol, and I think that's it. Really what you have to do is not only think of, okay, I'm getting back to the basics with food, but you also have to realize a lot of things that you season your food with, you don't even realize, but there's sugar and there's starch and there's all sorts of things that are added to it that you're not allowed to have on Whole30. So it's been about 3 months since I started Whole30. I started Whole30 at 112 and I lost a little more than 4 pounds on Whole30. So I am now 108, and I'm actually counting the ounces. So when I ended Whole30, I was at 108.8, and now consistently I am at about 108.3. And that's after having eaten my meals. So I know that I am still on the right track. So I am still seeing weight loss. During Whole30, I realized a couple of things. One, my reasoning really for starting Whole30 was that I knew that I had an addiction to sugar. The second reason was mostly for vanity reasons. I wanted to see some weight loss. I currently have 2 children, and they are ages 5 and 3, so there was some weight accumulated in that time. And then after I weaned my second child, I saw an immediate weight gain of 10 pounds. So I knew that there was a way that I was eating that, because I was no longer losing the calories from breastfeeding, that was just not working for my body. So after doing Whole30, I realized that that was sugar, which I'm still reading about how this works. Luckily, I had a friend who was really knowledgeable, like I said, on food and how it works with the body. So I did know that the insulin that my body was creating for all of the sugar that it was used to having was causing a lot of the weight gain. I knew that carbs contributing to weight gain. Anyways, there was so much to go into why carbs was not working well for my body. Later found out midway through Whole30, when I started my period, that dairy was contributing to the breakouts and the menstrual cramps, and also a lot of the intense feelings that I was feeling during my period. That dairy was contributing to that significantly. I'm still diving into why exactly that is, and finding a healthy moderation of having dairy in my diet that can not make my period so miserable, but also so I can have the calcium that my body needs through dairy. So I'm happy with having dairy in my diet. Some people might want to cut it out completely. I'm finding a healthy medium with not drinking so much dairy. But yeah, my experience with Whole30, week 1 of Whole30 was the hardest, as to be expected, because that is the detox week. Day 2 is where it hit me the hardest. I actually had aching in my joints. I had a headache. I was really irritable. But after day 2, I slowly saw an incline in energy. I would say the biggest thing after that was just not knowing what to eat. And luckily, which is a tip that I would suggest to anybody is that you should really utilize Pinterest. Pinterest was really helpful in finding ingredients that I could use to mimic some of the meals that my family would eat previously. So orange chicken is a really big one for us. Well, I was able to find a Whole30 approved orange chicken recipe, and once I found that recipe, there was just no stopping me. I was just constantly on the lookout for, how can I not mourn anymore what I'm losing, when I'm not able to eat anymore, but how can I make a healthier version? And pretty soon, those healthier versions of the recipes that we were making on a regular basis before Whole30, I was making all the time during Whole30 for not only myself, but my family, and my family was enjoying them along with me. So I had like my 5-year-old, my 3-year-old, and my husband at one point who could go a whole day basically eating Whole30, and they didn't even know that they were missing anything. So that was a huge bonus for me with Whole30. The day 16 they call the tiger's blood. I definitely saw that. I had so much energy, and there was really just like no stopping me. Whole30 was just a really pleasant experience for me. I didn't find it to be a difficult process besides the day 2, which was the hardest part of doing Whole30, but I honestly think that I will be doing it again. It was just a really enjoyable experience for me, and I learned so much, and Whole30 really did change the way that I saw food, and I am so thankful for that because it was a long time coming. Like, I knew that I needed to be cutting out that sugar, and now when I have carbs, I know what it does to my body, and I limit it to maybe twice, maybe like once a week we'll have pizza or something like that. So I don't completely cut out those foods, but I also now know what works for my body, and I wouldn't have known that had I not done Whole30. So yeah, hopefully this video was informative to you, and if you wanted to see any other videos like this, just go ahead and comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and always thank you so much for watching, guys.